Minia Samuel Frempon, any David Tamakloe, one more element channel pay me no more AD and come on. Sammy, good morning.
Good morning.
No, I don't want to say. So it's ordinary car. Honorable Pachamechiao.
Honorable where from one woman come home.
Now you're there.
Friends. She said, Honorable, say, I drop it your money.
Or your comrade.
Would you come one? Would you come one?
And you into your citizen.
It's better to even associate with the Cuban comrades than.
Are Samuel Cuban comrade?
That's a comrade for Yana Omoboji. You fit on.
Maybe on the hotel.
On a Monday morning.
Maybe on the hotel. Because me, I need be a more fit and a crowd.
I'm saying, you can't would be a very kid to watch.
Anyway, I was at Mama Kwaba. You, as always, is there an issue? Makuma Swa, young table for discussion, but you felt it merited some attention. 5 minutes you would want to talk about. Dave.
And some of the baby.
But the brain will be upon within 5 minutes, no any problem.
Say, Anope, say, fuel price ever cost. At least, I'm saying, bulk oil distributors. I issue statement. It's the minimum increase in 5%. She said, I do okay. Every day be a fuel price increase, and I want him say, on my move fuel price increase here 30 BBA. Last week, Yana, transport companies, GPR2 ni more marker, two transport firm, I think about 25%, 20 to 25%, and the commuters are yet to come into terms with it, a settle, and then this announcement is looking like in the coming days things are going to be very, very tough, and I dare say that it only gets very tough for the poor, those who don't have work to do, those who are looking for work, those who are on very meager salary. They are the one who suffers this most, and it is quite obvious to all of us now that we are here. We are not necessarily because of the COVID and Ukraine, as our president and his vice have been, and their followers have been touting us, but because of reckless management of the economy. It is not in doubt anymore that corruption played a major role in the state of our economy now. I think that at this point we can all call on government say boa na baby a ye sika kakra esi edi etu na ansana sanumai ebe tutu they are referencing it to the COVID and Ukraine. Sika bia e woda ho yenka sovereign funds are na e wono ombetimi di aboa na nema abafun kakrama ehiafo any onibi, because we are also aware say if you are not careful na nema no ekosu say the ekoya so also no paneduane nu ha obedi, you will be forced, so comedy will die, you will be forced to look for food. And if no one is going to give you food, people might be tempted to do the unthinkable, which we should all pray we don't get to. People will steal. Already, if you walk or drive on our streets, it is an eyesore. You see all kinds of people hitting your windscreen if you are driving, hitting your mirrors, the windows when you are driving. Those who crime rate is going up. There are several reports that have confirm this, that crime rate in Ghana today is going up, and these are the results of hunger, poverty, and its accompanying factors. So I think that without saying much, I think we've sat here severally and talked about issues of mismanagement in the economy, issues of corruption and all that, and so it's now sounding more like a broken track.
All right.
But we can't say, we wouldn't say talk about it anymore. So it is just to draw attention to those who are managing the economy that enough of the excuses. We are at the point that excuses don't matter to anybody anymore, and we must do something about the situation.
All right. Well, the point you're making, I remember coming across an article that Bloomberg did, and it was written by Monique Van Eck and Colin Goko. It says Africa faces unrest as tumbling food prices hit hardest, and they highlight, what may trigger some of these unrests, in that piece. I believe anybody following the conversation can check that story out on Bloomberg. Sammy, it should be on my yarn table. You felt I should have made it into the issues.
I think a quick one. Over the weekend, Nami Wakoforidia for the burial and funeral rites for the late Dasebe Otibuating. Yes, it was a very colorful event. Organizers know a year is still ongoing, and then I'm so Dasebe Kwai cry finally. You walk on it is listening. I say, oh my year. All the plans, succession plans are here for the Obabi and name.
Okay.
And PMP, one of the issues I face conflicts in near my say or in Pobi, a free mo, and also a quick crack. Nafi, a busia, I started, we say, Minamidia dear, we say, Minamidia dear. Now I blew up into something else. I think it's one of the topics I may discuss here. It was very beautiful. It was a 40 me and a year no and she share no a call no. And say me bought organizers no abasu ye pa. Secondly, I'm say call us no. One of the issues are not nipa me no kwani raise here. I'm say it is an issue I me face you baby I mete important e ka so ho no. A year foreigners. More invasion. Honestly, a young Nkwala from the ages of 13, 14, 15, 16. Now, Ushe Bessie Bra, Omafa, Esiomeniso. Obviously, Nkwala we intimi into kwine in free Nigeria on their own. Emidro Maimu, Emefasa Jumai, and more. Obi and the church are facilitating movement into the country. You lock it down, COVID time, you close borders. But more of these Nigerians were finding their ways into the country. A bro Madrid so said, what kind of newspapers are? Recently, I think before Christmas, there was a swoop, police swoop, all over. Front page, ya chichi Nigeria for ya screening or more, ya the omoko. Baby amete, e be my neighbors. What I say? Me nka say e be a oman mu fo bi ntimi mma, oman mu ha emedi omodwuma. Even if I was in Shishia or my year any near my emrama ho kwan. Na ubisa ho say nti nkrofo yi omo fa hin na be rua krom ha omo fa hin na be rua Ghana ha e wo mu a wo be hu say immigration officers omo the bus aba ni asesa nkrofo yi anope ya maybe there's one particular pub e wo ekwan ho very close to the Kaswa police station. Yes, udru ho a anope yi te say omo gina mu fiti enra abisi anopa be 5 a.m. na young ladies, young girls, ɔmo gyinagyina kwan ho. Ɔmo gyinagyina kwan ho. Ɛbɔ fiti 11 bi a wokɔ a sɛ sɛ woto obo because ɛno ansɛ ɔmo twa kwan no mu ɛkɔba saa. Na obisa ho sɛ nti ɛyɛ a yɛnka ne sɛn ɛna yɛn mpanimfoɔ ɛne institutions responsible for some of these things ɛtumi ate ahwɛ saa nneɛma yi sɛn yɛn nneɛma bebree ɛyɛ very embarrassing. Yɛn nkwalaa koraa ɛwɔ ha esua ohwɛ a Ghanafoɔ yi nso ɛde ɔmo ho agye mu bebree. Wobɛbisa ho sɛ if it is so much of a lucrative venture, adenti na mentwɛn ma Nigeria ni na mfiri Nigeria na sɛ Togolese na mfiri Togo ɛmra mɛyɛ adwuma no. Nti yɛn nyinaa yɛde yɛn ho bɛgye saa edwadie no. And in the mornings, wobɛkɔ yɛwɔ places are more like brothels wobɛtumi akɔtua agye w'ani ɛwɔ hɔ. And the police deɛ ɛyɛ me ya no the police ɔmo nim saa beaeɛ yi nyinaa. Anadwo uduru saa pubs yi a ɛwɔ hɔ yi a meka sɛ nkwalaa yi gyinagyina yɛyɛ saa adwuma yi wobɛkɔ na police patrol vehicle esi hɔ. And then I ask myself say, are they there to offer protection to these girls? And now say, are they there on the invitation of the pub owner? Now so anopa and they pretend say yaba chichi nkofo na gidi ano him ache to be ubeti hwi. What is it? Yaba arrested foreigners be at the omoko. In less than 2-3 hours. No one na momu baby. Inti adan kra na ye wasting or mind fuel any resources. Esi ye di be ye swoop knowing very well say adena mo ye no it would not get anywhere. Enko baby. I'm telling you, Sammy, say kaswa ye pe baby a ye timi kase nkrofo afi omu krom ebo be si bra e Ghana. Kaswa baby
they have.
I'm telling you, it's just a year above no. But for baby, a me can say, sir, activities in Kosovo. It is just a walking distance from the main Kaswa police station. And the police for no any to us. Nkola 13, 14, ubeko in the streets smoking marijuana, whatever. Just say a year a license place for such illegalities. But obia anka ho asem obia enye hwe ye bisa say omo fa hin kra no mo bewura because a 14-year-old girl entimi say ono nko afa say car afri ni krom ese oba be dipa e wo Ghana enti che say ye working pins a omo hyehyehye achi a omo de nkwala yi eba. It comes down to security, intelligence. Who is in charge? Ena basasa immigration for nothing. Ombeba me say arrest. Yes, ya chisa if say me tina baby am team. Me neighbors, most of them omoba nkofo the direct omoba tina media say oh say who didn't die be rent foreigner. One share in the background they oh if you are you are equally liable. But emrano wan put na ni na edi amayehu. Inti yes. One of the problems Kwa Abasi say, Opa and Opay Namiti discussion, Namo Kase, say, oh, per dine there, any court, baby to say, why stay in baby to say circle when you know, says, oh, Kotanaka Aswa, a cheaper. I mean, Obia, Obe make his assumption, not just say, or yet in tune or in touch with current trends. One of the places, as he say, accommodation arising baby to say Kaswa. Because a year foreigners no omo betimi nipa be 15 ebetimi at Jessica Abum a high dine like a single room self-contained or whatever they would describe it. And now say even a whole apartment nipa be 15 say 18 omo beji. And price if you run this dino ebemano wo and ordinarily a dine to say 250 Ghana cedis and I can so bet me they rent 600 700 omo beji because omo be also aye yibima e de atua na omo betina efio nti anopa wo hwe no we ko we ba unnim adwuma obi eye unnim baby a omo free baye se bibi sisi akra wan na wo locating so ofri hi anase and omo ne nam eni susa
all right
nti me sre senior kan media get results traffic lights are saying now see by the grace of God but it's just that institution bi na afi omadwen eye adwuma enye grace bia na omo kokko ye de ese so omo ye nti se emi se police mpanifo ni immigration mpanifo omo tie omo mfa omo ani emehwe they shouldn't just rely on police officers I be omo tena area ho ache familiarity omo ye na wofo so wa chimi be 10 times the last time I over na nye chi na over chimi over chia me yes
all right so me do say some matter we say ade any be actually and we'll follow it because of my own stretch between what's the name Tetegu and old Wager barrier. There's a popular sport be on the
a friend in London bar.
Yes, and Kodan Katia, one more Gina Homa Shentadia, just say Befani and Koyejuma, and a lot of them foreigners. I have noticed it myself. And since I think that we all have to take this matter up. And I say we'll keep the authorities on their toes. We'll keep them on their toes. But Yembra, back to the studio. Someone me Juna, CFA Bokunsha, Siana CFA. PULC and the recent announcements almost receiving some proposals from the utility service providers. No, Pamcho, the name Fansha say. PULC. Just say PULC. Dave.
PULC. Okay. Sami, I'm say Mr. T. Medical car said the fuel price cost through. Now. Normally, fuel price cost through Sana, affect BBR. But aside the fuel price increase, affect Sanuma other utility bills. Is the fact say electricity issue have been mismanaged in this country. And so Obana ensure maybe I'm in meeting Tema area home. A be pipe 1 week. Now you're tomb for 3 weeks. 2 weeks, 3 weeks. A banner sir, and also in Yari and them. But proposals are companies, water company, any electricity companies, there are two PRC any. Say, I increase your bills. Some in the realm of over 100%, 300%. It is only going to widen the gap between the have and the have-not. It is going to deteriorate things. It's going to escalate crime rates. I'm very much concerned about it because when the crime goes up, it's the edge of volatility, and we can only expect but the worst. I don't know if it is even the time to even consider this, because we are also aware that there are many communities who are not paying for the utilities they use. Many communities, and it is not necessarily they are making; it is the making of those who are being paid to manage these facilities, collect money for the usage of this these facilities, this water and electricity. So the management is poor, and it has been the case from time immemorial. I know, for instance, that for electricity, there was an attempt, support by the United States government through MEDA, to help the country to restructure the collections via ECG and all that. And we all know how it ended in the dubious award of contract to PDS, which matter has been put under the ice. As we speak, nobody talks about PDS, even though it has caused the nation so much. At a point, the United States had to withdraw the fund it made available to the country to solve these problems. And we thought, or let me say, some people thought that it doesn't mean anything. They swept it under the carpet. The people who orchestrated that PDS situation are working about free. The country suffers. So as we speak, there are still leakages in terms of revenue collection from the usage of electricity. And I think that if a country is serious, right now we are suffering from issues of confidence in our economy and all that. And these are some of the contributory factors. Because at the end of the day, if the revenue due to the nation cannot be collected, then it means that you do not have the capacity to go and borrow money. And that is why we have the likes of e-levy and co being introduced. I think that with the issue of electricity and water, if I have what it takes to influence the public, I would say that it is no. They should not allow government, nobody should allow government to increase even for a cent. If you cannot manage what the responsibility is giving you, there is no point embedding those who are able to pay. To pay more. We all know that it is not an issue of, how much is being collected, how much is being paid. It's about how much is not being collected. So, government should sit up wherever they will get the money.
Yeah, mixing Pomodin.
Me say, say, electricity, any issue I use. And it is not their fault per se. For a year, say, Uncle Gigi says, "Come." They are sleeping. Be or Hamuko Gigi, Muko Gigi, Skakakra, Mojai, Moko be at temper with Nimita, Muko Gigi Skakakra, no Mojai. Because a friend saying, now, Mama, meters, who beside Omama more electricity here. Meter or Modiban. And why a friend saying, I am meter no more the bebo I say, be I say, I say. This car moji system knowing you now, I say. And with that, it is leakage issue. So leakage, any non-payment issue. No. What the actually now Osako Oko Tutum a Sika age more. Let's all the a friends at this way to a friend say, Omo Motiano so. Ya Motia Dada. Moi Omo Etua Modia Dada no. Let's say ECG and I say a bind, let me say a bind in this term, a bind. Yeah, quadro like they are being lazy. Their work to do, they are finding it convenient to rather go and levy people, increase taxes, the levy, the charges more rather than going to seal the leakages. That is where we are, and we cannot tolerate a lazy system like that.
Okay.
I think I'll end on that for now.
Okay. Sammy.
Yo, I'm saying, Obia ni hɔ a yes, I mean, your boss to say about to tariffs more in any form, a welcoming news.
Mm-hmm.
But there be a make say, any amount to say a year power in so ho asem a year petrol ho asem. The amma etobi bia yentimi enya honest discussion on all these topics because of the unnecessary politicization ye makwan emanura sa eniema we mu emipi yenim the realities any a car aban bo abiding in a two political parties are within this short period, the Omarani or Minor. I'm saying both of them will be him say these are the realities. Inti anka ye the two say anka ye. But they be ye show the be a open and beka. Inti they find it very difficult say omobedi nukre ache a year or man for on some of these matters. Tariff increase. Let me say, omo arrangement abrini na omo yen hihye na yehwe say ebia kania bo na say nsuo bo yentum na say yente so. Tell me say recently these proposals were made to government. Na me hwa me yem hye me kakra. I think ECG was asking for
over
334 and 148. Ebia main premium home kase ebia why are they asking for all these increments? Rather no, the me hwene senka ye betimi achi omo say omo mra me justify to government. Say ebia because of XYZ intina abriwe no ye nyaaya anka ye to eniema num kakra kakra ye betimi aye adwuma effectively. But you see how the I am because your TO is your some economic challenges are makwan say yemfa sa increment we emram ensign burden Ghanaians say yensan betua more for electricity and water. I think say politicians are say the only way you share say you betimi you can't efficiency and not the only thing that comes to mind is that let us burden the citizenry with more taxes and now say yen tutu niememu na yen fan jisika in free amount for we share Ghana water successive governments are there in terms of their contribution to the development of SAR sector no and the improvement of water supply to Amino. 2011, one of the contractor, Misha, the Bia Kaipa, Crusading Guide, we championed it. Now, Misugumi Yem say, 2011, you could sign sa desalination contract. A cost of mine, yadi, or mine could share sa agreements. Ghana water. 25 years. Musumi Bia, as I said, Omutua about 6 million cedis of the operational mandate to this company. In so, Omutimi, Emma, Omuton, in so now, Omuna 2 million. But to operate sa plant, no, Ghana water bohoka 6 million. And Yabeka, we will look at the contract. And there is a buying way by Yabeka, say they will deal with it and all that. But I can tell you, say, from the Ministry of Finance, Ghana Water operational mandates, one of the payments are in delay, a payment to the desalination.
But I thought, say, at some point, one more hot the production of water from the desal plant.
Yeah, but The contract.
And I remember say Stanley Mate said they were having conversations with the operators of the facility to review the initial contract. Our SIA.
Sammy, say what? Ube, will you allow for a review? May no one sign the contract. It is a two-hold equity contract. Sika a womb a $125 million. You are to pay within 25 years. Now me emeti ho. Now based on whatever reason, munti minya mojuma. Oh, baby review no asisa Emma how? They realized Ghanaians were getting angry, knowing very well now this our water very expensive now upon P2 low areas like Teshi and then imported. How are they going to pay for that water? Ubisa who say engineers say what Ghana water no. What kind of thinking and a come who and it's why more and an almost benefiting from the desal project Intia almost approve here and they lied to authorities. Emma, yeah, approve this desal project. Secondly, apart from desalination, airborne mine from airborne Ghana water from, and they know they wouldn't have been coming to us to ask for tariffs if sa omusikeya omudi na every month omudi tua for the desal plant no and kasasi can wo they wouldn't be coming to us say they increase the tariffs. I'm sure if they would have to justify it, one of the reasons omudi be come and penny for ni say because of the desalination busumi bia etisika say and the comma ejumeko
we inti kaim kakra say the desal plant was a BOT arrangement.
Yes. Yes.
Inti over a period no it would have been a facility a be there.
25 years.
Yes, and so maybe the thinking is around that time I yet costs obligations to the partner no. All those costs are gone. And we all would attest to the fact that it is a very expensive project to embark on. The person would expect to make some money out of it.
Exactly.
And other BOT projects. My own. Nansiana, but it's almost say Mary as a kappa, one of them Asua, one more a transfer at the Amaye as to whether say ABD and Semino Bibia Equi and as Bibia Enqui minim. But it's a business model. Anna.
Sabi, business model. Before I obey to maybe so Ghana water omo pompe more with their systems than what the desal plant is giving. Business model being ena uyi sika eye 2 unya emfaso 2 million na busumi bia wo boka 6 million.
The argument at the time was that the plant produces to capacity. But the challenge with the desal project was that, you see, this is the point of supply. They were supposed to have laid pipes. Ghana Water Company Limited was supposed to have, and this was the problem I had with Ghana Water at the time. They were supposed to have laid pipes to several other areas to source this water to. But Ghana Water didn't do that. A few of the areas had their, pipes, down small, and then the rest. So the plant produces to capacity, but supply of the water is not up to what goes out there. And I'm a boy.
I think the Frank started well. I mean, my opinion on the desal thing. When you talked about the first, a friend saying the contract at the point was trying to be, they were going to terminate the contract and all that. But I think the basic question to ask is, the antenna, desal, buy. The basic thing is for here you. And water, when you need water, there's nothing that you can, exchange with it. And I have experienced it. I experience it daily, and it's not easy to wake up in the morning and there's no water to wash your stuff. There's no water to even cook and eat and all that. It's very, very terrible. And I think at the time this contract was awarded, I don't know the full details, but the basic knowledge I have about it is that water was a problem. Water supply was a problem.
Dave,
You
the people
have said.
at that place.
To the people, I mean, Teshi,
desalination.
can I please?
No. I mean, sir, you borrowed part of my time, and I think I would. Okay.
You want to take it back?
Of course, yes. Desalination.
I was thinking you would just let me.
Desalination. Yeah. Ghana. Say it's nasty. Insuo, essential commodity. I agree with you. Water bodies are your chroma. Unim countries are the reason our countries now more desalination plants and more. And yet Ghana water bodies try your
You see, I think you've made your point yourself.
and yet I'm saying the American say
Why you?
if you continue to say oh in so at that point not in so who here as if desalination was the last resort.
Sammy.
And even Sami has added a fantastic point that Miwe said to add. They said here, who could be a factory, who need raw materials. Now we got factory next year, or say factory in operating. If the desalination plant is operating, now moon pipes are a best supply in Shona. What my problem is not with any government or my problem is with the engineers of the Ghana Water Company Limited. Look, what thinking went into it, say, at that moment, the last resort was the desal plant. Desal plant in so more years there be areas now as mo target some in so bekono. Moon lay pipes in Not even let us assume say pump plant no operated to its full capacity. Not say supply networks are in so ni beko enkwa. You would obviously within the 25 years now company no be aboka. And if the only resort is that yenjiji a tour free or inventua for that planter, that is the only choice a company in the world. Inti anyone no be proposals somebody going na if they are called to justify it, I am sure one of the things are a beba on budget no mo any proposals ni and say busumi bia esese etisika ediko ni ediko tua desalination plant no. Look, workers nankasa there were times Ghana Water in this country now worker salary ebe a challenge.
And sorry to really interrupt you, Ali. That's why for some of us, sorry, Dave, some of us called for, and I think that is a step that one government must take for the prosecution of the people who spearheaded the Befisa Ghana Water Company Limited agreement.
Fantastic.
For me,
fantastic.
Yes, that is fantastic. And I found it really very weird, especially when the PRO, who at the time defended the coming on stream of that project, and then later on was able to defend the shutting down of the desalination plant.
Shami, is the
desalination plant
still dysfunctional?
I think from last year or so, it came back online.
So it came back.
Yes, but they shut it down from 2017 coming.
It must have come back for a purpose. I was trying to make a point which my brother didn't allow me. Say the basic reason for this contract was that there was a need to supply water to the communities that are benefiting from it. As it turns out, it could supply more water than it is actually being consumed by the communities. The reason is that the other areas are getting the water. Now, the issue is, have we discovered any corruption that is to be dealt with separately from this? The issue we are raising is, if the water was needed at the time, and of course, he raised an issue of distribution lines and all that. So that is another bit. If there is corruption about this thing, I mean, I think the government...
No, it's not corruption. The problem is with the business module. No, David, how do you buy water? Listen, you buy water from a company, Befisa, Ghana Water Company Limited. From Befisa, I think it was 6.50 Ghana cedis per cubic meter. You sell that water to Ghanaians, you are pumping the water to at 1.5 Ghana cedis per cubic meter. It means that from the onset, they are making a loss of 5 Ghana cedis.
So
You see, if you are discussing that as a business model,
yes,
Sammy, I think it will take a lot of our time, but water,
it is not a matter of corruption.
It's very essential.
You see,
Water,
when you go on the tangent, when you go on the tangent of social interventionist programs, I disagree.
I'm coming.
As much as water is essential.
Water is very essential. Okay. Now, if we are going to take, people who need water cannot get it, it's a different issue altogether. So, and for a company which has a state subvention, public subvention, it makes no sense denying people water when they can have it. Let's make that point clear as well. And let's say that if you find the business model not useful or not sensible, the fact remains that the people needed water. And I'm saying, do you need a
reduction in your fuel price?
I do.
You do?
Yes.
You need a reduction. Yes. Do you need a reduction in the prices of commodities you buy at the market?
Obviously, yes.
You do. So why is the government not doing the same?
Why is the government?
If it's about the welfare of Ghanaians, why is the government not doing the same? Why is the government not removing the taxes?
Yes.
You see, you are speaking about
this money.
Yes, you are speaking about
yes. But I'm saying that prudent in a water issue. When people don't have, even now that the water is supposed to be coming with all these projects and all that, I'm saying that in my area, which is close to Tessie and all those places, sometimes the water doesn't flow for 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
So are we saying that, David, are we saying that just because I need water, how the water gets to me doesn't matter? Are we saying that?
Well, how do you mean the how?
The how, as in, because the people of Teshinongwa and this environs needed water, as to whether the module which was going to get that water.
Are they not entitled to water?
They are entitled to water. That's what it's a need.
Safe drinking water.
It's a need. It's a need. But I'm saying that just because they need that water, a business module which is going to cost the nation really doesn't matter how we get it done.
I was at a loss when we were trying to bring in the fuel price and all that.
No, I was making
you can do without those ones, but you cannot do without water. I'm sure you know about that.
That what?
You can do without the fuel.
When the drivers
you cannot do without water.
When the drivers park their cars for just 3 hours, did you see the commotion in the country?
Sammy, I want you to understand that you cannot do without water.
Power petroleum product is now an essential, just like water. Or tell me you can't do without it. It is petrol that powers your Mary, your car power. It's
a matter of judgment, but I think that I cannot be convinced that there's anything. I mean, as you are mentioning, electricity, power, more essential than water. And I insist that people, when they need water, anything that the state can do to get them water, it does not include corruption. But if it means, of course, if the
running at a loss,
if the company, as
then let's go and pay.
No, hold on.
Let's go and pay the 148.
The company has the capacity to pump water to a bigger section of the public than it is doing now. If that happens, it's able to distribute water to all these people, the cost probably will come down. You are aware? That's another business model.
No,
the cost could come down.
The project was done with the diagrams stipulating that these pipelines must be in effect. Do you understand? Even that, the cost of buying and the cost of distribution will still not have been at par. Do you get the point, Dave?
But like, I just made a point that if
why did we kick against the collection of e-levy, a private man being in charge of the collection of e-levy and then giving to government? Why did we kick against it?
If those who are paying for that,
you mentioned PDS.
If those who are paying for that
when PDS took over, we saw the collection rate for ECG or for PDS. Or we didn't see. We saw.
He spoke more than I even did.
You willingly said, yeah, sure. Dave, and somehow can now, Matthias here. But say, even your sign bar assembly, so near beside on say, now, I buy this idea at the time, they say, or be making sure say, in so, ebeko efie mu bisa wo hu say besi nne was it achieved no but aban ekoso eboka ewo project no enu ni asema ye ka yenka say
so I think we are on the same page
ubisa wo hu say desalination me bisa biem say na enu ni ne kra na enu pene ekwan a Ghana water engineers ebe suggestion omo de be ma aban no no desalination countries like Cyprus UAE insuo ehun yo omo den water bodies and Ghana water omo list omo challenges are one of the main things omo catch here say the air how omo galamsey any omo anka say the unavailability of water bodies so omo say galamsey increase the cost in buying chemicals omo de ti insuo ho ebe ma ye enom eno ka omo problems so because chemicals no eboye den inti as for plant na esi ho ye bo ho ka hwe even in the beginning one of the ideas was that insuo no yentoma industrial areas companies akese on the Spintex stretch Coca-Cola ne ho eniema no omo na say omo betimi afford it not obi a oti teshi ho no a uton obo nsuo no ho ka 6 na uton ma no 1 na obo ho ka 5 cedis.
I'm getting a little confused about his points because you are making points
because perhaps you don't even understand the diesel issues. That is why you are confusing yourself.
I think it would have made it honestly, easier for me to understand.
I am saying that because you don't understand the diesel issues, that is the only challenge.
If sitting with you here,
yes. You see,
I cannot
the problem David is having with you is you are commercializing.
No, he shouldn't have a problem.
I don't have a problem with that.
He shouldn't.
What he's saying is that the water being sold at a certain price to government and being sold to certain people was his problem. Isn't that your problem? Because he also made
it is not just my problem. It is the problem. It is the problem of the ordinary Ghanaian. Not just my problem. And Muntina, omudi proposal say ko say yentu insuomu come on.
Look, Dave, the day Ghana Water defended the position of the shutdown of the desalination plant was the day prosecution should have started at Ghana Water.
So the prosecution, as you are looking for,
the people who at the time gave the NDC government the advice that this was a good deal to do, this was possible, and that it was possible for us to achieve this and save Ghanaians. The people who advised, they were the same people.
I don't know the terms of this deal. As he said, if my naivety is to be admitted, that is on the ground I'll admit it. I don't have the terms. But I can say with all authority in me that the decision to by all means get water for people living in these communities, hitherto who were not getting water, wouldn't be a bad decision. Again, I say that if the company has the capacity to pump more water than it is pumping now, I still have to go through a situation where in 2 weeks I do not have water. If those gaps will be filled and it comes in my bill to pay, I pay. And if, as you are suggesting, that industry could benefit from that water and pay more, I think that is ideal. If you are all saying that the company has not been, prudent with managing all this, in terms of the fact that the contract required them to set, more distribution lines and also think about how to get all this water they are paying for to get revenue for it, I agree with you. But I cannot understand the fact that the project should have been stopped or the project should be investigated because they are not able to pump enough.
But first question, last question, what happened to due diligence and then cost-benefit analysis?
Cost-benefit analysis is not the only factor that determines projects like this. Public projects, the cost-benefit would have included who are being served, the need to serve certain communities. All these are included in the cost-benefit.
And the value for money?
Value for money, yes, that's what I was saying. That it's just a factor. It's part of the cost benefit, but it is not the totality of the cost benefit. Value for money, yes, but value
so there's
for money
value for the money in this deal.
Well, like I said, I have not seen the template, the contract itself. what I am speaking to now is the need of the people. One, I agree with you that the company did not look at what my brother was saying, that the network that it was supposed to build to help the distribution of the water, so that we are not paying for what we are not using. I agree totally with that. And that is totally the blame of the company and government, which is probably who is in charge of doing this.
All right.
So I agree with you on that. But I cannot
20 minutes.
agree with you.
Then we can shift small within 10 minutes. Boku issues and then we pick on this.
Okay, send me PDS. Yes. I know my brother has a problem with PDS, but he doesn't have a problem with the desal plant. What you say? But the American say, okay, revenue collection. Yeah. The short period PDS a buy, you know. Revenue omutimi eweki a core a company. You can check. Go back to the days of Aquavitens. The management contract, no, a mass South African company, no. Now we share revenue collection, which and one of the ways is Ghana Water and in home very lazy.
But I had a problem with Aquavitens though. I had a problem with handing over Ghana Water Company Limited to Aquavitens.
I'm saying the same way our problem with PDS, no. And so Oka say within the short period, omoba revenue omutimi edibra aban anase company ni foto mu no asema me can say whether or not Aquavitens deal no was problematic and I say handing over the entity to the foreign company no was problematic. One of the issues I me person me raise can say the entire ye koso ye wo baby I want say the companies are lazy when it comes to the issue of revenue collection.
All right.
I made a point, just a moment, that I find unfair.
Unfair, okay.
To say that I had problem with PDS and I don't have problem with this. That is not true. I don't think I made that point here. I articulated what I find problematic about PDS. I told you I do not have the terms of this contract, but the point on which I argue, I was arguing on, I think I made that quite clear. So it's not that I have problem with one and I don't have problem.
I get your point. So wrap up comments. Boko. 3 minutes. Sammy, don't you say?
Oh, Boko there for David.
David, so far, I know pay start showing David have not asked you and David. First story, David. Second story, David.
I don't have problem.
Yeah, Sammy, me
okay.
Boko, 3 minutes.
Boko say me.
Military injured, 5 dead. Another one, and a recent reprisal, 3 people.
No. In fact, area so yeah actually because a very sensitive matter. And no, there's a history to Sansem Semi and one of the problems are say Bokufo and I say that part of the country enya usha the Maya be drew baby I be drew a political intrusion. Any arms are always readily available. Etimi obia efie bia say investment efie bia here say they are investing into arms because fitting Kwame Nkrumah time yeah she share emra emra Nkrumah the act bi by na a permitting say otimi esi ehine ye buy NLC PNDC ebetwam a free hoba President Kufuor a time when they were expecting the president say anka omo the side the faction omo perceived to be Dankwa Buziano anka Kufuor they should be able to have their way with President Kufuor faction so omo feel say omo ye way to the NDC no and so nanka omo need so say nka NDC so ba power nanka omo so omo nye omakoma so ade emo Mani na nkemfu ano ade sekeke na nka yede be ma nuanom a omowo esoro ho no ese ade ya ekoso yi se even yehwe oman a sa ntokwa ni sa eniema yi already poverty in that side of the country you know ade one problem ye kano even socio-economic development wo hwe development akachie kakra Nti sɛ yɛbɛkɔ so akontɔkwa ɛnɛ education why na ɛkɔ school ɔbɛtwusi school ɛwɔ bɔko ɛsɛ ɔtwusi bɔko school ama ne mma gradually yɛ collapse education doing business.
But during the National Science and Maths quiz, one of the schools there performed incredible.
But in America say.
But that statement, and I think say you may have to withdraw it because people are schooling at UDS from the south. People are schooling at other nursing and midwifery schools there.
I really don't know why you are asking me to withdraw.
Because you said that why never person
yes, it will not be attractive. Me in cry na reading enema ekoso.
I get the point. I get your drift.
Na me be ko choose school la.
I get your drift.
Of course.
I get your drift.
Of course.
I get
it. Inti yeah me party say sa enema we ni na no. Kron na e dey say no. Say kron. Inti over the period sa nsɛnsɛmi yɛayɛ commissions ɛne nneɛma enquiries yɛahwehwɛ nneɛma inti metimi ahyɛ sɛ aban ɛnsɛ ɔmo ana ebetimi ato afrɛ ɔmo ɛsɛ yɛnsan hwɛ na ɔmo ɛsɛ sɛ yɛne ɔmo tena ase last time you say a very good move NDC parliamentarians are ɔmo free that part of the country no ɛkɔ hɔ some engagements. I believe say so any kasache and this kind of engagements because in any way business who would think of even except me could be a cement shop bikra in that part when I know very well say me titi say ene etu aha etu akasa wa ha we unya koka muka semia I feel say oh ene there make I maybe Professor Mills may so rest in peace e ko ho oni omo kasa ye ye bo ho mpa ni bibia obedru akra wie na obeti I say etu asa kasama ye kum nipa. It is taking us back and it is taking them back. Since pennyfo no eto bibia one of conflict e ba ustie eniema ni bia egos personalities show of power nini na aka ho. But yen dream eye boko.
Sami mama David need 3 minutes na one wrap here. Dave 3 minutes.
I'm say Sami boko asem we see no na asasene it looks like it's been a chieftaincy issue from day one.
Yeah.
But those who are on the ground, the security, intelligence and all that, if you have those information, you know that there is more happening around there now than just a chieftaincy issue, and which is quite worrying. Worrying because so here, Krata, National Security, ADPA, over the weekend, about asking churches and mosques to increase their alert level and employ security personnel. That is quite alarming. And I think so okay US report no about out some few weeks ago on Ghana and what it says about a potential terrorist attack. Any other warnings are abana. It should be of concern to our national security. It should be of concern to our security system to do more. Because if they are asking, of course, institutions, public institutions, churches, schools, and all that. I think in the letter I didn't see schools. But, I mean, who is protecting the schools? Who is protecting the citizenry? Who is protecting the money in the bus? So I think that they should up their tentacles and identify the various factors that are contributing or rather adding fuel to what is happening in Boko. I have read a report which has been put out merely 2 weeks ago, just a week ago, and it's a report commissioned by the EU. It's not really out there yet. And it spoke about criminality trends. Ghana, where Ghana was placed, is very, very worrying. And I think these are not good times if you want to look at the risk level of the country. In serious countries at this time, certain things are taken very seriously. it cannot be that the government's excuse for withdrawing people, security personnel, national security personnel from the port is about sending them to what's the name, to go and take care of. I mean, what are the numbers we have? Look, if you read that U.S. report I just mentioned, it states in there that recruitment of personnel into the security services has been corrupted, has been compromised on party lines. Those are some of the factors. And I think that government need to pay a lot of attention. This is no joke. Security of a country is no joke. And I believe that Honorable Kendapa is up to the task. And other lieutenants around him are up to the task. I think they should stop the partisan considerations, look deeply into these things as if it is the last thing they have to do for this country.
All right.
We need peace. In this time that we are, where our economy is deteriorating, everything seems to be at the brink. We need peace to come out of it.
All right.
And our peace is in the hands of those in the security leadership, and of course, the government led by Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia. They should begin to take things more serious than they have ever done in the last 5 years.
Dave, I don't want to pay, sir, also, other words, mammy. So I made us, Dave, I don't want to pay, sir,